Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 73, 72, I forget, of our Padawan Unlimited podcast, Star Wars Unlimited trading card game podcast. If this is your first time listening, please consider liking, subscribing, and telling your friends. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube, like listeners online, like just regular listeners on like actual podcasts to the platforms. We have a lot of those, but for whatever reason, people don't like advertisers and FFG. I don't know if that's FFG, but it's more visible when it's on YouTube. So consider it, please. Helps us out a lot. And as a thank you, for those who are unaware and haven't gone through the entire program, we are giving away at 500 subs on YouTube. We're giving away 2024 convention exclusive pack. It's the black box with all the Force like units and stuff that are there. It's I don't know, right now valued at $300 USD.
It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet, and we'll have a raffle entry for that, so it's gonna be a randomized person. So as soon as you get to 500, help me give that away. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, help me help you. But aside from that, some logistics. So the Padawan Unlimited tournament, the Padawan Unlimited League, has officially kicked off on Monday. I think it was it's been pretty fun so far. Some really interesting matchups. We have, out of 16 people, the 12 different leaders, 14 different like things. So like 14 different deck combinations or something like that. It's a pretty wide meta. So it's been really
cool
fun.
To hear.
And
the fact that people had to be creative with coming up with commons only is, I think, pushed that a little bit too, which is really exciting to see, and like interesting combinations and cards and stuff. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
And we only had one sneaky uncommon making its way in.
Yeah. So, game penalty. So it is funny. No, points or whatever. So we're not like, it's a casual tier event, so we're not like being super strict or anything like that. So that's okay. But it's the first run of everything. We're going to talk on the main segment about running your own tournament. So anyone who might be interested in doing that on the side, we're going to go through our thoughts about that. Anyone who's trying to build their own community, so we'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. But first, we have our first segment, as always, the collection. Corey, what do you got for us?
Well, actually, I wanted to talk about this Target gift bundle that's coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's Magic the Gathering, they do gift bundles like with their stuff as well, and it's a way to kind of give people a little bit of taste of the game, give them some extras. It usually comes with a box to hold your cards, comes with some packs, so like the lands you need, which is in Magic. You get the mana. So I'm not surprised, but that Star Wars is going to do something similar. They call this the 2025 Star Wars Unlimited gift box. And you can get it at Target now. It's like there, you can pre-order it. It's coming out early next month, I believe.
Really? Is it? From what I hear, it's only in the U.S.
Yes, that's my understanding. Also, I haven't seen it elsewhere. But what's cool about this gift bundle is that it comes with 2 packs from Twilight, Jet to Light Speed, Legend of the Force, and Secrets of Power, because it's coming out. You'll be getting it after the launch, or during the pre-release at least window. And then you're going to get 3 exclusive items, which are an Obi-Wan card, Darth Sidious card, and a giant leader Qui-Gon card.
All I'm saying is, I'm making a Qui-Gon deck and I'm playing with that bad boy.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. The giant size card is like it's not huge or anything, but it's a little bit bigger than you would see. I think it's like maybe size of 2 normal cards put together.
So it is an interesting collector item, I'll say. I don't know what the price is. I think I heard $75 somewhere. Is that right?
$30 on Target.
$30? Oh, okay. So I was completely wrong. $30 for 6 packs.
8.
8 packs.
Yeah.
Two collector cards, like alternate art cards, and then 1 big gigantic Qui-Gon card for $30.
I mean, I just pulled it up just to verify the Target page. Yeah, it says $30, shipping between November 6th and November 11th. Releases on November 5th.
November 5th.
That seems like a pretty sweet deal.
No, I mean that's a great deal.
Well,
I
I
know
guess I'll
that-
be making a lunch run to Target, huh?
Yeah, I know. I think that I know some people are a little down on that because of you could buy like a regular booster box of cards for $40 now for like Twilight of the Republic set. But I think in this sense, it's like it actually is kind of like it's decent value. I'd say you're getting cards from like
definitely.
4 different sets,
Yep.
right? So someone came up with the Discord with the idea. I don't know if it's a fresh idea or not, but of a Christmas draft or Christmas sealed event actually.
Yeah, and
Right.
with this gift, I mean, it's perfect, right? You got a gift bundle. It's like, well, like again, it could be any holiday you celebrate. It doesn't have to be a Christmas specifically, but the multicolor facet is fun, and it's you can do multiple sets basically because of the you got 4 different sets. And it's just the chaos of it all. So, you've heard chaos drafts before. And so that would be a lot of fun. Shout out definitely to our Discord members, and the creativity this community has is awesome.
Yeah, and if we do it as a true draft, who knows what you get to gift to your opponents?
Yeah. And if you got a cool showcase it, you got to play it. And
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
It's required, right?
yeah.
Mandatory.
Or if you don't get a leader that you want to play, you're required to play with the Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, the huge leader card, yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be worth it to buy, like, if you want to place it of the alternate art cards for the
buy
it's
3.
It's Palpatine
Jeez.
and
It's
Obi-Wan.
Darth Sidious.
Yeah,
Darth
it's
Sidious.
Only the
Yeah.
start, like they're both starter cards because Obi-Wan's a starter card and Sidious is a starter card.
Sorry, I use his alternate name, his alternate ego.
Ooh,
So
spoiler.
yeah, no, right. So that would be $90, 95 with 100 with tax, and then you get pretty much a box, right, for like $100. But then play sets of the 3 cards and 3 and then 3 of the. I wonder how much. I'm really curious to know how much those alternate art cards are going to go for.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's anything like so, I'd say probably the best comparison here would be to like Pokemon when they do the huge format cards with the limiteds. Those tend to actually go for quite a bit. Like the
Do they?
Yeah,
Well, Pokemon in general, people don't even play Pokemon. They're just like crazy first. It's that market for Pokemon. It is a different beast.
It is, but generally speaking, because I've been at our local when they've gotten in stock, things like this, the collector bundles call them, and man, particularly if there is a card that is highly sought after and it's like an alt art card and things like that, they go like. They fly off the shelves. I was there.
People camp out knowing like, restock's happening. We got to be ready for it. I don't think is coming close to this.
No, I don't think we're getting close to that level of kind of sought afterness. But again, it's like you like I've seen them literally get the delivery off the truck, and there are like people waiting outside waiting to pick them up. Like it's nuts. And that again, that's Pokemon. But here I don't think we're going to have that same level. But there is going to be some chase after this, I would imagine.
Yeah, I could see it. It depends on how available it is, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like you can do a max of 2 on the website if you guys. So.
Okay, so you can't get a play set.
You can't get a place. You can pre-order 2, and then you just got to hunt for the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. I can't like Star Wars Unlimited is still too new and nuanced of a game to really demand the hive like scalpingness of it all. I am curious to see when the game will get to that point where the like return on investment, because some of these set 1 cards, for example, when people are trying to get like hyperspace foil Darth Vader legendaries, like Luke's, right? Those were going for like hundreds of bucks at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was absolutely wild. Now they're down to like, I don't know, maybe $90 or something like that. But still, like,
definitely.
What?
I mean, it's like much cheaper than that now. I mean, I think
is it?
Vader's
Well, the
like in
Luke's right now.
40s.
But like the
Luke's are
hyperspace
high, but-
foil.
Yeah, I don't think they're at
Hyperspace foils?
nowhere near 90 anymore. Like they were
No.
well
Not
over.
really?
Like, I think they were 125 at one point.
Yeah.
But hyperspace Vaders, hyperspace Lukes, they're probably 50s.
Yeah. Yeah, the face value came off of them once set 1 was more widely available, particularly after the reprint.
Yeah.
But like it's sort of like speculating in like alpha magic, right? At some point, if you believe in the game, you're gonna buy it, you're gonna play it, and then maybe the cards become worth something one day, and maybe they don't.
No, yeah, I think we're in an environment of just too much mass production. But
Yeah.
I did see that the hyperspace foil Vader market price is actually from set 1 is actually still $60.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Definitely not
That's
like
cool.
a lot, like in comparison, but like
Right.
it's
It was like twice
you know,
that at one point. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like wild. So okay, yeah,
I
know,
do think the
I
art on these alternate cards are fantastic. I
Yeah,
love them.
that's pretty good.
I think the art has just gotten generally better and better each set.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
each set has been so good, and I'm excited to just like see the future, like homeworlds and stuff.
Yeah,
Like what the world's
yeah, there's going to be
Which
so
is a new
much
set.
good stuff. Yeah, one of the upcoming sets. But yeah, there's been so much good art, and I will say like the special treatments that they've been doing have been getting a lot better. Particularly like the stuff that we saw at Sectors and the cards that we got. I think they're really good looking cards, and the art in general with those has been better than
I think it's,
even
they're
some of the
finding
basics.
themselves now. It's like, all right, we've got
Yeah.
2 years now under our belt, and we know where we want to be. I think initially it was like, what do we want this game to look like? And now I feel like they know, and they can really like get the
Yeah.
artists they want to get. And these showcases, the Secrets of Power showcases are fire. The leaders might not be great. Who knows? We haven't played enough with them yet. We'll see about that in the meta. But as far as the artwork, I'm impressed.
That
Yeah.
Cassian looks really good, honestly. Yeah.
the Sly Moore and C-3PO ones
Oh god,
that came
Sly
out.
Moore
Oh,
looks amazing.
like
Yep.
dude, that the distinctive lines, the
Yeah.
what is it called? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
Oh,
what
sorry.
is it called?
No, sorry.
C-3PO.
No, I'm thinking the contrast between the colors and stuff, even if it's black and red and stuff, like object shore sliding and stuff like that. Like, sorry, that was like
Yeah.
really bad. I had really big like a blank in my space in my
You
in my
knew
mind.
where you wanted to go, and just like
Yeah,
I do it all the time with
art,
the words.
Yeah, I am interested to see what it looks like when it's actually printed in foil because like it's very different from a graphic like
Yeah.
on the internet
It could
to
be
like
better
a foil
or worse.
card.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
one of the things that like I don't think always translates in the initial art. Like some of these cards look really good with the foil treatments compared to just like the static art. The one that I'm like looking at that's right next to me, Sam pulled an Avar Chris showcase, and like that one you were talking about like the bold lines on the new ones right now. This one was done in sort of a more of a cell shaded style, so there's no dark lines around the edges of it. But when you see the card in person, particularly like the backgrounds and stuff, it really does pop. It looks a lot better than it did when you just saw the flat art.
Yeah, I was gonna shout out to the artists here because like C-3PO and the new one that got released today that they showed off, Lama Su,
Lamasu, yeah.
same artist, Mark. I'm gonna butcher his last name, so I'm not gonna attempt it. But he's great, and I do think the color, like you mentioned, the colors that they chose for these, the backgrounds, and how the characters portrayed within the background, and the expressions that they have. It's I'm very impressed. So I'm excited to see what else is coming down the pipeline here.
Yeah.
Some of these.
Well, and I don't. Is this official yet? But I know Axel Hutt just got, I believe, got brought on as an art director. So now having like a singular voice, hopefully directing that will also kind of help with some of the art direction going forward.
I have no idea who Axel Hutch is. I'm gonna assume that's a good thing.
Axel
Axel
Hutt is
Hutt.
the artist of the Sly Moore showcase, actually, and
really?
they did a lot of other.
Yeah. Also,
Boba
they did
showcase.
Gar. They did
Pretty much all the good showcases.
Yeah, pretty much all
Like,
the
is
good
this
showcases,
Axel person?
Yeah.
They
Okay.
were at the Galactics. I think they had a pretty big line for most of the time.
Okay.
So
Sick.
yeah, their work is really good, and I'm excited to see like the art direction that they bring to the table.
Yeah. Which, by the way, didn't realize, and maybe I mentioned this in the past, but like if you get something signed, like a card signed, it's considered a damaged card. So it's actually, depending on who you're talking to, could be lower in value when you actually sign the card.
Yeah,
Versus like
could be.
whatever. So interesting little tidbit there. Anyway,
Like
let's
my,
move on to the main.
Close the Shield
What's that?
Gate, signed Johnny Morrow.
You got
pretty good.
3 things signed by Johnny Morrow, if I remember correctly.
I got a few
Yeah.
things signed by Johnny Morrow here. Speaking of collection stuff, we got the
Oh yeah, that's right. He did
Darth Tyrannus.
the Tyrannus. Yeah.
The event exclusive Darth
the
Tyrannus
event
was signed
exclusive,
by.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's move on to the next segment. Meta.
Let's
What do you
get
got
it.
for us, Rob?
Well, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we basically have the full set at this point for Secrets of Power, not Shadows of the Galaxy. Although I am conflating those two a lot because I do think there's a lot of crossover between these two sets in terms of similar things that they're looking to do. That I think Secrets is looking to do, and I think going forward, I think I've said it to you guys, and I don't remember if I said it on the cast or not, but I kind of look at this set in a lot of ways that I look at Shadows of the Galaxy. When Shadows of the Galaxy initially came out, people were really down on it. They were like, it's not as good as Spark. Like, there's just this, and like you look back now, and there are just banger after banger after banger that was in Shadows of the Galaxy, staples of the game that we see every single tournament. And my gut says that there's going to be that same level of card, prevalence in this one.
Are there any cards that you've tested that have stuck out so far?
The one that is jumping out to me right now, and this is just for any red player. It's why can't I think of her name now? The smuggle on attack 5/5 Cinta. Yeah, Cinta is just going to be a staple for any red deck going forward. Cinta she's 6 cost or is she 5 cost? I think she's 6 cost, right?
6. She's 6.
Yeah, she's 6 cost. Yeah,
Six-
so
six cost plot.
6 cost plot card. But the key here, and you get a 5/5 body with her, which is nice. But the key here is when you play her, you get to immediately attack with a unit. And while we do still have things like hotshot and snapshot reflexes, within the card pool currently, I think this is going to be one that's going to stick with us going forward, and just going to see her everywhere.
You mentioned 2 upgrades. I mean, Fleet Lieutenant and Maz Kanata would be more, because they give you a body at least.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm thinking more about specifically with hotshot, smuggling from the row, right? So similar.
I think, and I think with Cinta, you also have to keep in mind that like it's ideal because you get to just attack with the leader immediately if on the flip, like when you have action. But you can just literally play Cinta for 5 or for 6
from your hand,
and then you can just have any unit like attack.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is useful, not just being plot. It is most effective when it's in plot in the plot, using from the resource row using the plot keyword. Yeah, I think that red has got aggression
so
has just
many
been really.
tools.
It's just been powerful last set. It's gonna be powerful again this set. I'm very interested to see if there's like how fast or how quickly FFG might. I mean, this is all assumption space, right? Because there's a lot of people testing how fast they might respond to the meta. But let's go away from aggro cards, aggression cards, because I think a lot of people are testing the same things.
Yep.
Have you been able to test any other leaders, any other cards?
So I haven't had a chance to test yet, but I've been brewing on Sabe. I think, look, anytime you have discard as a ability that's fairly easy to trigger, you're going to have a powerful either leader or card, and she is both. There's a no cost ability on her leader side, so all you have to do is attack a base and then you can exhaust her, and then you're digging through your opponent's deck. And then when she's flipped, it's an always on ability, and it's just there. She's just going to be bonkers. I have a feeling.
I actually think her front side or her leader ability is not as useful as initially thought of, because you can discard a card. However, they're getting another card back.
Yes,
which is really you have to really think about, do you want to help them filter their hands?
But the other side of this is that you do get to see their entire hand as well. So while because you look at their hand and you choose a card to discard. So it you're getting information as well as deciding whether or not you want to discard a card. You may be okay with what's in their hand, tell them not to discard, and then you just have gotten to see their hand. So there's a lot of nuance in this leader. She's going to be a high skill cap leader, but I think
she's a rare leader, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she's a rare leader as well.
I've played probably 20 games or so or 25 games with Sabe across a variety of, not green, mostly yellow, red, and blue. Like between those cards, those card color combinations. Sabe is fun. I think she's a fun deck, but I think in practice she's actually kind of mid tier.
Missing a little bit.
I'm gonna.
Interesting.
I'm calling that shot right
That's
now.
fine.
I mean, I'm sure she'll win something because the mate has always been wide, but I think she's a false flag in that sense. Because discard's great. Don't get me wrong, and I think it's fun. But I think you run out of gas quickly with her, right?
Fair.
That's fair.
I think
because
I was just gonna say, like, if we're talking about the new leaders, there's a Dryden Voss blue deck that we've been having fun with, testing out. Like so much ambush and everything is in there.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty neat.
Dryden. Sorry, go ahead. I have something to say about that.
The thing is that I think with all the new stuff, you're still playing with all these other people that still don't really know what they're doing. So it's I don't know if it's as good as it really is because people just aren't sure how to play it yet, right? It's like with all this ambush, you're getting a lot of value, but people don't really know what to do yet. And so once they learn, who knows?
Yeah. So let's talk mechanics here because Dryden Voss I think is also very powerful.
Yeah,
Because
agreed.
a lot he has a built-in ambush ability for his leader. Yeah. So like ECL. We know ECL energy conversion live from set 1 is a rare base, 25-point health, command, green, has been one of the most influential bases in the entire game so far. And once it rotates out, I'm going to be so happy. But
But
now Dryden Voss essentially has just turn on ambush for like anything within the ECL
5.
range.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
within
it's
5.
It's 5
You
costs.
discard
So
you discard a card
Yeah.
that's higher.
Yeah. I understand that, but what I'm saying is that you're still getting an ambush.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
Like
no,
you're still
absolutely.
getting an ambush, right?
If
and
you
who
listen
cares
to
that
last
you're-
week, we talked about how powerful ambush is.
Yeah, if it's a discard, fine, you're gonna get it. You'll get it. Use a card called Palpatine's Return, or get something from your discard pile.
Yeah.
But like what I'm saying is, you're turning it on, which means that you can turn on Super Laser Tech. You can turn on Drenger Spawn. Have you guys ever seen that card?
Oh,
yeah.
That card.
That's
3/3.
You keep getting those different experiences depending on how much health is, right?
Yeah. So no, Drenger Spawn's a 4-cost villainy cunning. Not villainy cunning.
Green- it's
Command
green.
villainy
Villainy.
card. It's a creature. It's a 3/3. Has overwhelm, and when this unit attacks and defeats a unit, give a number of experience tokens to this unit equal to the defeated unit's cost. So
Okay, it's the
if it
cost,
defeats
yeah.
if it defeats with a 3/3, it defeats a 2/2, you're getting, or a 2-cost unit, it gets 2. Now it's a 5.
Yeah.
5/5.
Well, if you like tick
right?
something down to a point where it's like a 5-cost unit and then you kill it, right? Like you're just
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. So like as it drank, so needless to say, it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger by defeating things. You have to deal with it right away. But one of the problems with this unit is that it has to defeat something,
Yeah, it has to
Right.
attack.
right? And has to attack something. So, but now with this ability, you're just turning that on, defeating probably some weenie unit that's on the board, making it a big body, like a 5/5 ideally, because that's when they'll survive like that, or 6/6, and for what? For free? Like it's like so good.
Yeah, I
Rook
think
has
that-
been really good in this also, by the way.
Which one?
He just he's from set 1. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He just kills it whenever he attacks. And he comes in
yeah.
shield. He's
Yeah,
the 5
yeah,
5
right,
he's
yeah,
the 5
Rook
cost
just-
3/6 unit.
giving him ambush.
You just ambush him into something huge and just kill it.
Yeah,
And then he's still alive because he had a shield.
yeah, he was. I mean, he was a great ECL target in set 1. Anytime you can grant ambush to him, he's really strong.
And then Gideon.
Steadfast Battalion, which was another like common ECL target. You have to have a leader out, so it's not going to quite work as well with Dryden. But once he's flipped, if you have him as a multiplay later, like that thing turns into a monster as well. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of play with him.
I think what I've seen so far with some of the leaders that are really good, not just like cards, right? I think that I've seen a lot of people testing Luthen and Cassian.
Luthen.
They're fine. I mean, Cassian's fine because he can't be defeated. You're doing 6 regardless
But
on that
it's,
turn. Like you're,
You have to
But-
have initiative too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I understand, but I think that's why I said he's fine. I think
Yeah.
he's like not necessarily
I
amazing.
think he's
right?
he's definitely like looks fancier than he might actually turn out to be.
It's to me, it's honestly
He's,
it's
like,
that front
sobbing
side
in
ability.
my
The front side
mind.
ability is always
hmm
like
Yeah.
like it's just if you attack
Your
base,
units
you
get-
can't be attacked.
They have to use hard remove. They have to use
Yeah.
removal ability to defeat the unit. They because it has hidden. It's just silly.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's really good. That front side ability is really good. Like his flip, it's not as impactful, I don't think, but his front side is great.
Yeah. Well, it's not hidden, but it can't be attacked. Whatever.
can't be
So like,
attacked.
it's wild. That's wild. Luthen is probably, from what I've seen, played against, is not as powerful as. It's very beatable. I'll say. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but I think he's the Sabine replacement when Sabine rotates out.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
No, I don't think so. No. When a friendly unit is defeated while attacking, because you're losing units.
Yeah.
He comes out at 5, which is lower, and
Yep.
you have to lose a unit to do one damage to a base. And
Well,
I
he's
just don't
flipped
think.
too.
Yeah, but still, like you're losing units. That's the problem, and I think that I mean, maybe in the long run, like if you make him like a really like mid, mid game kind of like leader, I think he'll be really good. But for now, what I've seen, I've been smoking him online, but you know.
The other one that I'm interested in, and I know you're interested in as well, Gil, is Daedra. I think Daedra is going to be one that we're going to see a lot of. That front side ability just feels really good. One cost, either deal 2 damage to a unit or you draw a card. Really, really strong. She's a 4 flip, so you can use her early, kind of throw her away at something to remove a problem, and then you get her front side ability back. Or you can just hold her until late to like deal with the problem. I feel like she's very, very versatile, and like built-in card draw is always strong.
What are you gonna pair with? What color?
I feel like blue is probably the way.
So you just want to do hard control?
I've seen, people have been talking about it on our Discord. It's either blue or I think like fast aggro. So might be double red, might be yellow. I don't know.
I think yellow. I think the red version is strong, but it's easily defeatable. Not easily defeatable. Hold on. How do I phrase this? Dedra Miro as a red unit is like her ability is not an aggro ability.
It's not.
Like that's her leader. Her leader. It's
Nope.
it's just do damage or draw cards. So in itself, like inherently, it's meant to be like a mid range / control type deck.
Yep.
So
Hand
trying
advantage.
trying to fit her in an aggro shell seems like it'll be a good idea. Like seems fun, and don't get me wrong, it is fun because I played 25. I've played 25 games with her, like today, or within the last 2 days. But again, it's just like counter to what she's trying to do. So I think you're right. Like if you're gonna play Dedra, go control, and you're gonna probably do much better, more consistently anyway, than if you did an aggro build.
Yeah, I just think her ability is very strong. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't ability. Particularly like even early, right?
So my job is to not play units against her. Is what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, like in a hard control mirror, then yeah, she might kind of run into some problems, but I think she's really interesting, particularly against mid range, against aggro, where you're just like, okay. Like I'm okay with either outcome here. I either get more cards that help me, deal with your board, or you're dealing damage to your units, and then I have stuff to like potentially trade out, or you're weakened on your weakened units, or potentially kill them.
If she becomes prevalent, hard counter, either which will probably be an off aspect, Chaos of War, baby.
Oh God, yeah.
Chaos of War is going to be an auto win card if you're playing against Dedra. For those of you who don't know, it's
take 2 cards. Take 2 cards. Take 3.
yeah, it's fine. It's go
what
ahead.
Does it do? What does it do, Gil?
It's a double red card, and it deals when you play it. It deals damage
to each opponent. It's every player, right?
Every player does damage to themselves for how many cards that they have in their hand. So if I play this card, you have 10 cards in your hand. You're doing 10 damage to yourself immediately. Right. Like
why are you hitting
to your
yourself?
base. Yeah, so it's like hard counter. What do you think? Before we wrap up the segment, where do we think some of the leaders are falling. So we haven't done like a tier list here, like officially. But what are like, let's say, what are each of your highest tier leaders right now that you're thinking about?
Well, number one right now, the most fun so far. I haven't played them all, so I can't say. But Voss has just been a lot of fun. Dryden Voss has been really fun. I think he's going to be A tier, but he's probably going to start falling down, just like Fennec. Like Fennec had a built-in ambush as well, and she did do well in a couple of events, but you never really saw her like explode like Sabine or whatever. So I think he's probably low A tier, falls into B tier as people understand him a little bit more.
I mean, I think I'm most excited about Dedra, honestly. I've been looking to get back into like a control type play style, and I think she's going to be the one that kind of does it for me. I don't know where she ends up falling, because I think there are probably stronger control leaders within this set, but like as the set rotates out, or sorry, as the old sets rotate out, then we start to see her show up a little bit more. So I'm kind of intrigued with her.
Still going villain here too. We're all going villain so far, but I got another one. Like I think Jabba might be fun actually.
Jabba is really fun. I mean, for you're gonna his ability is also kind of leans more towards control. So you're probably gonna do some unit trading or whatever. If you do something like Pershing to go to card draw, it really helps with him because you're doing massive damage for what you're gonna do 2 damage to a unit for 1 cost. Not bad.
Yep.
Right? He comes out at 5, which is really good. And he's like what is he? He's
like a
2/8, yeah.
Yeah, so like really hard to just punch through him, right? So
if you don't take him in one swing, he's going to punish you for it.
And if you start Voltroning him up, it's like, how do you get rid of him?
Just start giving him lightsabers, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, use Leia, because Leia's the ultimate
the Hut Slayer.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what his showcase looks like too, because his other showcase was great. So
I think any type of blue-green villainy people always play, so you're gonna see it happen.
Yep.
I do agree that Jabba's gonna be fun. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Mon Mothma.
It's just the other one that
so
looks interesting.
Most of my testing has been surrounded between 3 leaders right now, because I don't want to go too wide, right? For this set, I mean, not considering past sets like the leaders. Most of my testing has been around Sabe, Dedra, and Mon Mothma. And between the 3, Mon Mothma has been the most fun, but all 3 have been pretty wild, I'll say. Like, just testing different cards is crazy. I think Mon Mothma, especially people who are doing like the Rex type build, to do that unity of purpose kind of like gimmick, it's just really, really strong with her. I
don't know if it's a gimmick if it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that like I am positive with her. I think that, but the thing with her is that there's a lot of weenie units, so you have to hopefully survive to get to that point, to 6 units, and also with a double green, aside from. So your space is still a little weak because you don't have synergies with Blue Leader or Bright Hope, right? For the official synergies, and you're not going wide to do the purpose of Unity purpose, or the point that you're trying to make. And so Space Aggro generally wins against that leader, but barring that, she's pretty good. And then I think we're going to see a sneaky Satine Kryze come in. Maybe not the best, but I think it's going to be sneaky.
Get that 0-8.
Yeah.
Restore 4.
There's been this like, line where particularly blue hero, or like double blue hero, for discard can be really, really powerful. And if there was going to be any leader that was going to do it, it was going to be her. So Satine plus her what do you call it? Twilight of the Republic card, legendary card, I think will be, that's such a strong discard shell. It's just, if we're talking about Sabe and how discard is powerful. If you have a leader that's kind of built to do that or help to do that as well. It's
Yeah. I don't.
it's gonna be good.
I think it's very gimmicky. It's probably like B tier, C tier, but it's just fun. Anyway, so Voss, Dedra, and then probably a mixture of other leaders are where we're gonna be at. Ooh, by the way, Bail Organa, fun fact. I don't know if you guys know this, or maybe you didn't realize it, because I just realized it today, like truly realized it. His leader ability is always on in terms
Yes.
of like for him to flip back onto the board. He can flip back on the board every turn as long as you have the cards to like get him out. So he's just a good.
Isn't there? There's a combo where you draw a card when you flip him. I'm trying to remember what it was off the top of my head, but it's if you use it's the red base, right? You use that red base when you flip a leader, you get a card.
Shadow Collective.
Shadow Collective Complex or whatever it is. That one. So you flip him, you get a card. As long as you have the 2 cards in hand, effectively he becomes any card in your hand is a 0-cost 3/3 once per turn.
That's crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So fun stuff. Someone's gonna unlock him. I don't know who's gonna be, but it's gonna be fun.
Green red, baby.
Green red. All right. Let's go on to the last segment. So finally, so we're gonna talk about like running your own tournament. I think is gonna be the main segment for today. Something that's very salient. It's a very salient topic for us. I know that I know Rob, you've run tournaments for like board games and stuff before. I think Corey, you have 2. I know Rob, you also run a couple Star Wars Unlimited tournaments, like at the local level. But for those of you who are listening for the first time, just as a recap, we did our first ever Padawan. We started our first ever Padawan Unlimited like league/tournament. So right now there's 16 players. It's all being played online via webcam or whatever platform you decide to use, and we're running it on Melee.gg. It's as legit as it can possibly be. So, and it has been quite a journey. I think that I guess let's start at the beginning. Like, when you are trying to run a tournament, like what are some things that run through your head that you have to make sure that you plan for?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll jump in here because I'm probably the one who's done a lot of this. First and foremost, it's communication. So when I'm running a tournament, specifically like at a store, now obviously our online tournament's a little bit different, and we, as we'll probably get into, we learned some lessons even in doing that, which is different than running in person. But first thing you're doing is you're talking with your local store that you're going to be running it with, making sure you're on the same page for whether it's prize support, tournament structure, what time things are starting, when the store is going to be open so that you can get there. Make sure that you kind of have a good rapport with the staff and have that part set up, because if you're not part of the staff, you're kind of doing it as an event for the store. You need to coordinate with them about that. And then it's also about communicating what's happening to the players, whether it's through online communications, promoting the tournaments, or in person when you're getting ready to kind of. So I know, Gil, you got to see a little bit of that as we kind of rolled this out on Monday. What were you? I'm just actually curious, like how you felt. Not only how did it go for us, but like the things that you weren't maybe expecting.
I think all the problems I expected. Just because like. No, seriously, like because like we're all kind of like human in that sense, like So I think for me, the biggest thing that I think is important to always remember when you're running, if you're going to run an event, is make sure you do your research beforehand and make sure that you have a plan, right? Like build that plan, whatever that might be. So like you said, like Rob, you're going through all these different like checklists, like you're coordinating with the store. But if you're not coordinating with the store or whatever venue, right, and you're doing it on your own, like online platform, like I made sure that I talked to judges. I made sure that I referenced old like communications between people who have run planetary qualifiers before, right? I tried to reconcile all the things that happened with events like Galactics, right? Galactic Championships, sector qualifiers, all these hiccups that occurred. So like, okay, not having product, that sucks. What can we do there? Or people, when they would say that like maybe they would not know what's going on, right? I think one of the things that's always a big issue is that there's always questions, comments, and concerns. And you have to keep communicating over and over and over in many different ways as possible. So for us, like what I think one of the things that I wanted to make sure we did, and even though there were still questions, obviously, but one thing that I made sure we do is I tried to be as communicative as possible. I think we all tried to be as communicative as possible.
Yep.
We talked about it here on the podcast. We made announcements and chats on the Discord as soon as, and answer questions as soon as people had them. I sent out multiple emails with information. I also sent out a video recorded as like our player meeting for everyone, right? And then I sent out a follow-up email, right? Like there are all these things that I think just basic communication and making sure people are treated like human beings with dignity, and respect. I think to me that is like as critical as possible, because if you make mistakes, like at least they'll know that you still have their best interest at heart.
Yeah,
and I think fundamentally, before you even get to prizing and stuff, by the way, which is super important, don't get me wrong, but like I think that like when you're organizing a tournament, like go in with an intention of actually caring about the people, and then the event will run itself in that sense. Like it will become a good event.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You need that.
If you
it's like you grow up learning, like treat people the way you want to be treated. And like when you experience things and something's not right and you experience that sticks with you, and that's something that's like you just, it's a bad taste in your mouth, you don't want to have anything to do with it again. So having that good first impression, right? That communication at a time, as you said, having like one of my favorite PQs to go to is Redcap, because they send out an email with all this information. Like I feel like I know exactly what's going on. I know like they talked about parking, they talked about like food stuff, they talked about you can expect when you get there, and the different things all about it. I was super impressed with just being able to have that idea of what to expect going into it. Where some people are like, oh yeah, just sign up here on Discord. They don't communicate how you can learn more about the event, who to talk to about the event. Like I think you need to be able to have those things available and accessible to people when there are questions. Like you're saying, you had all these different like lanes of communication. Not everyone has access to certain things in order to communicate with event coordinators and stuff. So being able to provide all those different avenues and ways to get answers. The worst thing is just trying to find an answer you can't find, or get an answer you can't find because you don't know how, right? So that's super important.
Yeah, I will say, like, it basically, in a lot of ways, it boils down to communicate to the point of over communicating, frankly, because you just need to put that information out there. Obviously, you need to be
tell you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not even like an "I told you so." It's literally just that way you put that information out there. I mean, the other thing about it is that you do have to be consistent in your messaging, right? So it's like, this is what we're doing, and you say it like 10 times, but you're saying the same thing 10 times.
Right, you can't be flip-flopping,
and maybe it's in 10 different positions, but you put that information out there.
I know we did maybe once or twice in terms of slightly change some communication, or like that was out there, and good This is where, if we're flexible with the players, I feel like the players will be flexible with us in that sense.
Exactly.
Because we're trying to treat this like a real like tournament, because there's cash involved, right? Not like we're not giving cash value, like we're not giving money away, but like people paid us to we're giving prizes in exchange, right? So like there's skin in the game. So definitely like try to have consistent messaging. I think one thing that I learned, like lesson learned from me, is what we should have done is we should have set up a mock like melee.gg tournament in Melee first as like a fake like practice to see where all the button clicks are, because if you're not really involved in that platform, and I'm sure even people who I know this.
I use it and I still can't figure it out.
People who use Melee all the time still get confused as how to use that system. So like I feel like in future, like we should have mocked it up first, done it between our like own personal accounts to just see what like happens, and like truly, and then replicated it, like copied it over and like just increased the cap. Because that was like bonkers. Like it's so hard to find like where to select things in the digital system.
Well, and what's interesting is like I've run events before, but the difference is I haven't really run like events where it was like decklist submissions and like a lot of different things that we did with this that I hadn't really done previously. So we were trying to figure it out kind of on the fly a little bit. It's like I thought I knew where everything was, and it turns out we didn't. But and thank you guys, seriously, everyone who's involved for bearing with us on that. We were just trying to make sure that everything kind of gets running as smoothly as possible. But it's at the end of the day, it goes back to, look, when we were running into those hiccups, we were kind of communicating, hey, this is what's going on, and here's what we're doing in relation to that.
Yeah. I think that after, you come up with like your communication plan and like your structure, how you want to do it, because for casual play, you have a lot of flexibility in kind of changing some of the rules ish, right? I think then this is where like that macro level, now you have to pay attention to the details, right? Like what are the finite details? Like if you're going to do this in person, like for me, I would love to get some like Star Wars Unlimited, like tablecloths type things to like really sell it instead of just like a, cheap plastic thing, like those type of if you have the resources to do so, right? Because it depends on how much you're paying for. You obviously have to stick with the budget. You ideally want to make this a way that at least net neutral, so that like you're not losing money on running a tournament. So it's like these little finite things like deck lists.
Yep.
Like how would we have, like, seems obvious, like there should be like a setting somewhere that we should have thought about, like, but it didn't work. And then also reminding people, for things like that, if you're going to do things like that, like if you have special rules, reminding people over and over and over again, like the details of it all.
Well, you also bring up a good point, Gil, like for the in-person events. If you've never used Melee before, the way that it assigns matches is it will give a table number to you. So it's always a good idea to have markers at your tables that say this is table 1, this is table 2. Make sure those things are clear and obvious. For me, when I'm running an event, I tend to get there about an hour before, so I have time to do all these things to set them up, to get the tournament up and running on Melee and ready to go, so that when players come in, if they haven't already pre-registered, I can add them in manually. I've got it all brought up at the store. I've got my prize support set aside and kind of laid out so that when it comes time to award it either in between rounds or at the end of the game, at the end of the tournament, I've got it all ready to go. I don't have to like search it out.
Yeah, and there's a big difference between an online tournament and a in-person tournament, because you're saying tables. We don't have tables necessarily here, and when you're doing online, you don't necessarily know people who, like, oh, I'm playing, crazy guy 524 or whatever, and it's like, who is this? Like, we don't know. So, doing that online tournament, Gil, I saw you had to like, hey guys,
do some translation. Yeah,
there are some. Yeah, if you're running it in person, very different, because you can just go up to them and be like, hey, are you this user? And then you sit across from them.
It's like, oh, I'm supposed to be at table 2, and like you're supposed to be at table 2. Yeah.
You have the table. You should also have the table numbers out there, like written out perfectly. Like you should have a semi-organized way of, like, so people can understand, okay, high numbers here, low numbers here, right? Maybe for special accommodations for anyone who has a disability, you have a special table set aside from them near the entrance, or not without stairs, right? Stuff like that. Those are all these, again, these details you need to think about. Right. And for us, like, if you're running it online, like you said, like, even so, like, you could have their Melee handle, which is different from the Discord handle, and Discord handles change from Discord server to Discord server depending on if they change that setting. Yep. So like you need to have like a matrix of users, like in an Excel spreadsheet or whatever platform, whatever thing you want, notepad you want to use, and then you share that actively with your community, right?
And you need to also
something that I did.
Sure that like it's okay for people, like if they're okay with like you sharing certain information. Also, like if someone might not be like willing to share, like I don't want this known or I don't want that known, so it's what you share, you need to make sure.
Like privacy, like I'm not going to send out, like you should not be sending out, especially like in Europe or whatever, if UK, Europe, because the GDPR like privacy rules, right? You're not supposed to be sharing you're technically not really supposed to be sharing personal information, so like you have to be very careful about personal emails. Like if you're going to email everybody, you have to put that in the BCC line. Right? You should be sharing like full names, like personal identifying information, right? So like you have to keep that pretty confidential, like you said, unless they agree to some type of, again, this is like low level like legal stuff, right? So we're not legal experts
stuff that we
here.
have to think about.
Yeah, it's legal stuff. Like there needs to be some type of, like, if you're gonna take pictures, if you do all that stuff, there needs to be releases.
Yep.
marketing releases, right? People have to agree to that. Like, there's all these different nuances you have to consider because you don't want it to come to bite you back in the butt, even if your intention was a good intention.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes you don't realize you may be disrupting something that may impact someone else, and who knows? Like, that's why you want to protect yourself and protect the players. Like, that's part of your job as an organizer as well.
Protect the kids, right? Don't be taking photos of kids without permission from their parents, and don't be posting it, like stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
you got a lot of it is also just basic, like, be considerate, and,
Right.
like, overly considerate in a tournament, and like be very conservative in that sense. Sorry, I don't know if and Rob, like, I'm sure you've had this experience in a lot of other your
Yeah, I mean,
events,
from
right?
community organizing, and like that's sort of my background, with the board game group that Corey and I run. There's a there's a lot of things that you don't think you're going to run into that you run into when it comes to dealing with people. Like, and it's is as complicated and kind of call a little bit of a legal morass that, like, privacy of information is, but also just like, navigating between different personalities. You may have someone who's a bit of a, agitator at a tournament that you have to deal with. How do you deal with that? What's your plan for if something goes sideways? You assume and you hope that everyone's going to be, sportsmanlike and playing well together and all that kind of stuff. But what happens if you don't? What are you going to do about that? And how do you handle that?
You're gonna need some type of backbone for sure to deal with bad actors.
Yeah,
like,
and it's never fun, right? Like, I've had to have some of these conversations over my years doing this, and like, you never want to have to be that guy, but sometimes you just gotta be like, look, this is the way it is, and it's unfortunate because you really the goal at the end of the day is for everyone to have a good time, right? And that's what the goal of all of this is. It's, whether it's the Padawan Unlimited tournament, or whether it's one that you're running at your local store. The goal is for everyone to have a good time, come out, play some games, and enjoy the camaraderie and competitive spirit, right? But some people aren't gonna adhere to that as strictly as you may want to. So, not saying you have to do this, but have a plan for it if it does go sideways.
yeah. And speaking of plans, planning on ending this podcast in the next 10 seconds. So
Hey.
we are recording this on a Tuesday night instead of our typical Wednesday because I'm super busy this entire week. I'm in 2 weddings, Thursday and Saturday. I'm involved in both. So I need to it's
Thursday too. Jeez, okay.
yeah, so it's just crazy busy for me. So, but you know what? The community deserves the content. So this is for you guys.
Hardest working man in the SWU.
Yeah. Rob, Corey, thank you so much for your sacrificing your
Absolutely.
10 p.m. to 11 p.m. time slot for me and for us. So thank you so much, and everyone else out there. Until next time, may the force be with you.